Several of the fired agents at the FBI were part of a global counterintelligence squad whose responsibilities included investigating espionage and cyber threats from Iran. Just days before the war began, Director Patel deliberately undermined the FBI's ability to counter Iranian threats.
Stop. Read that back. Days before the war began. The FBI director, the man whose entire job is to protect this country, fired the agents responsible for tracking Iran. Not before a quiet week. Not before a slow news cycle. Before a war. And according to this senator, it wasn't a strategic call. It wasn't a restructuring. It was a cover-up. Patel was trying to save his own reputation after a string of embarrassing scandals, and in doing so, he may have stripped America of the exact intelligence capability it needed most at the worst possible moment. That's not incompetence. That's something worse. Let's go back to the beginning, because this story didn't start with Iran. It started the moment Kash Patel walked into the FBI. When Patel was confirmed as FBI director, the senator stood up and warned everyone watching, this man does not have the experience, the judgment, or the temperament for this job. That was a prediction. 14 months later, it's a documented record. Since taking over, Patel has done something that career law enforcement officials say they've never seen before. He's used the FBI, the world's most powerful investigative agency, as a personal loyalty operation for Donald Trump. Agents who worked on Trump-related cases? Fired. Doesn't matter how long they served. Doesn't matter what investigations they were in the middle of. If their file touched Trump, they were gone. Think about what that actually means. These aren't political appointees. These are career agents. People who spent decades building expertise in counterterrorism, counterintelligence, cyber threats, organized crime, and Patel fired them. Not for poor performance, not for misconduct, because their work files were connected to cases involving the president. The FBI lost decades of institutional knowledge in these purges. And the question everyone should be asking, the question this senator is asking on the floor of the United States Senate, is who benefits? But here's where it gets darker. Because the firings didn't happen at random. The timing matters.
Are we in a quorum call?
We are.
I ask consent the quorum call be suspended.
Without objection.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, when Kash Patel was confirmed as head of the FBI, I said that he had neither the experience, the judgment, nor the temperament for the job. 14 months later, Director Patel has confirmed my worst fears about his integrity and competency. Director Patel has spent his tenure at the FBI weaponizing the world's preeminent investigative agency to serve the political interests of one person, Donald Trump. Patel has fired dozens of career law enforcement agents simply because they were assigned to work on investigations related to President Trump and his allies' misconduct. These firings have deprived the FBI of decades of experience at a time when our nation is facing growing threats not only at home but overseas. And Director Patel has timed these politicized purges to shield himself from allegations of misconduct. After his embarrassing actions at the Olympics and whistleblower disclosures to my office describing how his misuse of FBI aircraft has negatively impacted high-profile criminal investigations, Director Patel tried to save face by firing even more people at the FBI who worked on President Trump's mishandling of classified documents. Several of the fired agents at the FBI were part of a global counterintelligence squad whose responsibilities included investigating espionage and cyber threats from Iran. Just days before the war began, Director Patel deliberately undermined the FBI's ability to counter Iranian threats, all to distract from his own failings as management as director. An article recently published in The Atlantic revealed that Director Patel's behavior has been even more erratic and irresponsible than previously reported. Current and former FBI officials are worried that Director Patel has become a national security risk due to his chronic absenteeism and personal lifestyle. Those at FBI headquarters and field offices often find the director absent at critical moments, delaying time-sensitive decisions in important investigations that require his approval. These accusations would be concerning for any government official, but for one of the people principally responsible for keeping America safe, they are downright disqualifying. Director Patel should be replaced immediately. Our country's safety is too important to be left in the hands of an unqualified and undependable individual who is loyal only to the president and not to the people of this nation.
Let that sit for a second. A sitting United States senator just stood on the floor of the Senate and said on the record that the FBI director is a national security risk. Not a bad manager, not a partisan appointee with questionable loyalty, a risk to national security, to this country. And the evidence he laid out wasn't vague. It wasn't political noise, it was specific. Patel fired agents who were covering Iranian espionage and cyber threats right before war broke out with Iran. He timed purges to deflect from an Atlantic report detailing his erratic behavior and chronic absenteeism. Current and former FBI officials, people inside the building, went on record saying the director is simply not there when decisions need to be made. Think about that for a moment. You're a field agent. You're running a time-sensitive investigation. Maybe it's a terror threat. Maybe it's a foreign operation. You need the director to sign off. And he's just not available. Because according to multiple sources, Kash Patel's personal lifestyle has made him unreliable at the job he was confirmed to do. There's also the aircraft scandal. Whistleblowers went directly to this senator's office with disclosures about how Patel misused FBI aircraft and that those misuses were actively interfering with high-profile criminal investigations. The response from Patel? He didn't address it. He fired more people. This is the pattern. Scandal surfaces. Patel fires someone. Scandal surfaces again. Patel fires more people. At some point, the firing is the scandal. And every single person Patel removes takes years of institutional knowledge with them. Counterintelligence experience that takes a decade to build doesn't come back in a reorganization chart. It's gone. And the threats aren't gone. They're escalating. The senator's framing here is precise and important. These aren't just management failures. These are disqualifying failures. His word. And given the context, a war with Iran, growing cyber threats, foreign interference operations, calling the FBI director disqualified isn't hyperbole. It's a factual assessment of whether this man is capable of doing the job the country needs him to do. The answer, according to this speech, is no. Here's where we land. Kash Patel came into the FBI with a clear agenda: protect Trump and punish anyone who had ever crossed him. That agenda led to mass firings. Those mass firings stripped the FBI of experienced agents, including agents tracking Iran. And days after those agents were gone, a war started. Whether you think that's criminal negligence, deliberate sabotage, or just catastrophic incompetence, the result is the same. America went into a major military confrontation with a diminished counterintelligence capability because the FBI director fired the people watching Iran to cover up his own failures. A senator stood up on the floor of the United States Senate and said this man is a national security risk. Not a partisan hack giving a press release. A senator on the record with specifics. And as of right now, Kash Patel is still the director of the FBI. That should bother everyone, If you want to see every detail of what this senator laid out and what the Atlantic report actually revealed about Patel's behavior, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. We are going deeper on this story because this is not over. Drop a comment. Do you think Patel should be removed? Let's talk about it below.